So one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of the GLP-1 agonists, even the more modern GLP-1 and GIP agonists, is their disproportionately high amount of muscle wasting that occurs during the weight loss process. And this is highly concerning, not only in elderly people, but also in young people. And it's not just the muscle wasting, there's also osteoporosis at an accelerated rate. These are real issues here. Now, in some studies, it's been shown that over 50% of the weight loss is in the form of muscle loss, and that is highly concerning, and that's very difficult to get back. Because one of the hallmarks of aging is, of course, muscle atrophy, muscle loss, and of course, also osteoporosis. And these are highly accelerated with these medications. And it's not just because of the lack of protein intake. That's one of the factors, and that comes from, kind of the nausea people experience and not being able to eat sufficient amounts of protein. But it's also inherent to the medication itself. So again, not a big fan. That doesn't mean that they won't work for many people. I know some people that do quite well on them, and that's absolutely fine. But putting especially younger people or children on this, but also in the elderly, I'm a bit concerned here actually. So traditional weight loss medications don't really have that effect. So that's of course one option. But then people ask, what about peptides? And yes, there is a peptide that's very interesting here. The issue is that it's not FDA approved, and we don't even have a lot of human data in terms of studies. And that is MOTS-C. Now, MOTS-C is really known more as a mitochondrial peptide. It is actually encoded in the mitochondrial DNA. It is released during exercise and is therefore sort of marketed as exercise in a bottle. But it does a lot of positive functions for the mitochondria. It can increase mitochondrial numbers. It can really massively improve mitochondrial health and thereby energy production in a healthy, good way. And that also means burning a lot of fat. So it's a great fat burner, actually. But at the same time, another effect that MOTS-C has, besides this whole mitochondrial improvement, is that it actually downregulates myostatin. Now, myostatin is sort of the limiting factor in your muscular development. That's when your body says, hey, don't get more muscle on this, we're gonna stop it right here. So myostatin really stops your muscles from getting bigger. And that's something that in the bodybuilding world, especially, people are always saying, hey, how can I decrease that? So there are a few things that can be done with supplements and all that, but nothing has been really working well. But MOTS-C actually downregulates this. And you may have seen pictures of these very muscular bulls, and they have been genetically engineered to not have a lot of myostatin. It's actually knocked out. The gene that makes the myostatin was knocked out. So there's no limit in their muscular development, and they develop a lot more muscles than the average bull would, right? So there we know this from animal studies that this is something very interesting, of course. Now, MOTS-C downregulates this, of course, not in such an extreme way that you have nothing left, but it downregulates it sufficiently that increased muscle development is possible. And this is quite fascinating. So besides decreased appetite and fat burning, it can also increase actually muscle development while you are losing body fat. So that's, of course, a very interesting combination. Now, again, unfortunately, this is not an FDA-approved peptide, but besides that, we don't even have a lot of human data. We don't have a lot of human studies on it. There's animal studies, and of course, there's a lot of anecdotes, and people have been using this for a while. So there's anecdotal data, but again, long-term, we don't really know if there is a sufficient safety there and all that. We have some protocols on how to take it. There's usually a loading phase where MOTS-C is given in the first 2 weeks at a higher amount, somewhere between 5 to 10 milligrams 3 times per week for the first 2 weeks. And then it can be scheduled once weekly, which is also, of course, great for a peptide, because many peptides, especially the secretagogues for human growth hormone, usually are given daily. So having a peptide that after a loading phase can be given once weekly is fantastic, of course. Then the question is, of course, can this be done indefinitely? Should there be breaks and all that? A lot of unanswered questions. So going forward, hopefully we will see more human trials where we actually not only look at the mitochondrial improvement of MOTS-C, but also at its potential as a weight loss agent. Again, appetite suppressant, fat loss, and this has been documented, but also in terms of muscular development. So especially when there's a concurrent resistance training and adequate protein intake, what are the effects then on muscle building while simultaneously losing fat? And that, of course, would be the holy grail in terms of what people are looking for in terms of their longevity and weight loss peptide.